Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show. I'm here with the miserable liberal and Ron Placone. Hey.
Hi, Jimmy.
Hello.
Big news. Trump orders U.S. troops to leave Syria as White House declares victory over ISIS there. That's from December 19th. That's today. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Right? Would you guys agree that would you, lady and gentlemen, agree?
You know what? I can't even believe I get to see this headline in my lifetime.
In my lifetime.
Right? Because I had no idea that the military-industrial complex would be alive and well. And when we get to see a headline like this, don't you feel better?
Trump promised to pull us out of the wars. A lot of people on the right voted for him because of that reason. I had my fingers crossed that he would do that. And in Bob Woodward's book, he said, why don't we just pull out of Afghanistan? And Bob Woodward puts that in the book to make Trump look like a crazy man because then his generals had to talk him down. No, we can just pull out. And we can just pull out of Syria. We can get the F out of there. We're only there at the behest of Saudi Arabia and Israel anyway. So this is a good thing. That's a good thing, but it's going to be now reported, I'm going to guess ubiquitously like this. Like it's going to be reported like this. Russia praises U.S. decision to pull troops out of Syria. Oh. Here's a guy for the New York Times, Brett Stevens, op-ed columnist for the New York Times, MSNBC contributor. He says, it's a gift to Iran, to Hezbollah and Putin, a shameful betrayal of our Kurdish allies, without whom we wouldn't have defeated ISIS. Another day in the Trump White House. So he's admitting that we defeated ISIS, but he wants us to stay in Syria. That's what he just said in his tweet, this guy.
You know what? Can I say this, Jimmy? What American knows why we're in Syria anyways? Right? Like how many people would really be informed if you went around?
They would say because he gassed people, and so we have to go save people who are being gassed by Assad. Although that's not why we're there. We're in Syria because they want to put a pipeline through Syria. And Russia doesn't want that pipeline going through Syria because it's going to bring natural gas to Europe. He sells natural gas to Europe. So and also Israel wants Assad gone because he's aligned with Iran. So it's Israel and Saudi Arabia. That's why we're there. We're there at the behest of oil and Israel. Or fossil fuels and Israel. And this guy says we should stay there. Why? He doesn't really give a reason. He just says it's a gift to Iran, to Iran. So he wants us to go to war with Iran too, this guy. We did Iraq, we did Libya, we're just still in Afghanistan, still in Syria. He wants us to go, this is what the New York Times is. That's who these people are. Did I tell you that they cheer on every war? Here he is cheering on two wars in one tweet. The Iran war and Syria. In one tweet. Both those wars, the American people don't want anything to do with. Donald Trump says, we have defeated ISIS in Syria, my only reason for being there during the Trump presidency. Here's Mia Farrow, right underneath his tweet. She said, you are putting America in danger. How? I have no idea how that puts America in danger. She doesn't say. She says, military experts tell us that ISIS remains active. And if we leave, we'll expand. Oh, so we just have to occupy the whole world forever because ISIS might expand. If we don't occupy the whole world, so we got to stay in Afghanistan, we got to stay in Iraq, we got to stay in Libya, we got to stay in Syria, we got to go into Iran. Why? Because ISIS might expand if we don't. She says, while they celebrate in Moscow, Iran, and Damascus. And so she says, you are putting, military experts tell us, really? I go, you mean the same military experts that lied us into the Iraq and Libya wars and currently has us bombing 8 different countries? Trump has so completely ruined liberals' brains that they now publicly cheer on war and military confrontations with nuclear powers. Hashtag the resistance. I don't know if you know, but Mia Farrow's tweet attacking Trump from the right, wanting him to be more militaristic, to do more war, bomb more people, create more carnage. Her tweet, Mia Farrow's, it had 322 likes within a half hour. So this is from the article at ABC. President Trump's decision followed a phone call. So you see that's going to happen, by the way. You see Mia Farrow is just, that's the first thing that's the first tweet underneath Trump's tweet that shows up. So that's why I grabbed it. I just grabbed all this stuff and very hurriedly put this together because as we were going to air, this story broke.
This is breaking. And also something worth noting because, I'm still keeping my fingers crossed. As of the recording of this, we're recording it, we're still waiting on James Mathis.
Yeah.
We're still waiting on that go ahead.
Right.
So nothing's in stone yet. So
Trump was on the phone with Erdogan, right, the president of Turkey, and that triggered the decision last Friday. That's what they say. During the call, Trump told Erdogan that he was planning to pull U.S. troops out of Syria. Chief Pentagon spokesperson Dana White said that in a statement on Wednesday that the U.S. had, quote, started the process of returning U.S. troops home from Syria. Once officially ordered by Defense Secretary James Mattis, the withdrawal would be completed within 30 days. That's fantastic. Trump's call with Erdogan on Friday followed a week of rising tension with Ankara, including the Turkish leader saying he would launch a military operation against the United States-backed Kurdish fighters in northeast Syria within a few days. So Turkey hates the Kurds, and they want to get at them. While Erdogan and other world leaders, such as Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu, were alerted to the president's impending decision earlier, some top U.S. officials were unaware until Tuesday. Later on Wednesday, the State Department also announced an intended $3.5 billion of U.S. Patriot missile sales to Turkey. Isn't that something? So a couple of billion, we go, okay, we'll pull out. And when asked why he pulled out of Syria, Trump said, Turkey buys a lot of our missiles. Come on. There are about 2,000 U.S. troops in eastern Syria advising and assisting the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces in the fight against ISIS. The first U.S. troops arrived in Syria under Obama administration in October 2015. Now, I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, I remember when they wanted Barack Obama to go in and bomb Syria, and he said, we're going to put it to a vote in the Congress, and Congress voted that stuff down. And so, remember, he had his line in the sand, and then they crossed it, and we didn't do anything. Everybody said Barack Obama made a mistake because he didn't do anything. Well, he did. He did. Even though they voted against sending troops, he did it anyway. That's the thing that doesn't ever get. Am I wrong about that? That didn't get reported, right? That it was voted down. He said, I'm going to put it to a vote. The Congress said, don't do it. He does it anyway.
Well, yeah, because they decided we needed to do something.
Yeah.
For all the same reasons that keep getting recycled in
same
the
old
media.
reasons,
like,
but when put to a vote, the American people say no. Your reasons aren't good enough,
And that's why they don't put it to a vote.
and that's why. Yeah, that was what everybody said. It was a big mistake of Barack Obama to put it to a vote, but it didn't matter. He still did it. He still put troops in Syria. He still bombed the hell out of it. The original force of 50 U.S. advisors grew to an official level of more than 500, though it actually grew beyond that figure to approximately 2,000. So there's 2,000 soldiers that they admit are in Syria. That's what they're admitting. If these media reports, so this is Lindsey Graham, by the way. Lindsey Graham went after Trump for doing this.
Yeah, he's real
because he's a moron. He said if these media reports are true, it will be an Obama-like mistake made by the Trump administration. While American patience in confronting radical Islam may wane, the radical Islamist passion to kill America. So he's literally saying we need to stay in Syria so we can fight ISIS in someone else's country.
There might be someone somewhere in the world that doesn't like us, so we stay.
We need to stay there and fight them. Hey, you know where else there's a lot of ISIS? Anyway, so we just always have to stay fighting in other. And by the way, so if we're in Syria to fight ISIS, I thought we were in Syria to topple Assad because that's what ISIS wants to do. But you're telling me we're not doing that anymore? That we're actually trying to fight the people who are. So we're fighting for Assad right now? Is that what you're saying, Lindsey? So that's how this is all 100% complete bullshit. Just like the Iraq War was the first time, just like the Iraq War was the second time, just like Libya was, just like Syria was, just like it is now. This is all bullshit. Complete. Because if what he's saying is true, that we need to stay and fight ISIS, that strengthens Assad. If we defeat ISIS, that strengthens Assad because they want to overturn Assad. So this is a schizophrenia, what he's saying. Of course it doesn't. All he wants us to do is make sure we keep troops there because that's what the military-industrial complex wants. And he's a cash sucker. Lindsey Graham, big cash sucker. We know it. And that's what he's doing.
Well, that's the problem. All this bullshit, the sad part is there's an economy built around it.
Yes,
there's an economy
the
built
death
around
economy.
this bullshit. We just had a preemptive strike in Somalia earlier this week.
Really?
I mean, there's an economy built around this endless war. So when you hear something like this, it's like, well, at least, here's a step in a good direction. Hopefully it happens.
Hopefully this saves lives.
And so
ultimately.
And so listen to what he says in the next sentence. He says, an American withdrawal at this time would be a big win for ISIS, Iran, Bashar al-Assad. Well, how could it be a win for ISIS and Bashar al-Assad? Not even bothering to try to make sense. Not even bothering to try and make sense. Because he knows the American people have no idea what's going on in the Middle East. They have no idea. Go ahead.
He's just naming everywhere that's not us.
Yes.
So, this is a big win for ISIS, Iran, Bashar al-Assad, Syria, Russia,
Al-Qaeda, Israel, Iran, Iraq, Libya.
Canada likes it.
The Sudan. The Sudan, parts of Antarctica.
Poland's on board. Germany likes it. France.
The Philippines. Guadalcanal. That didn't even bother to make sense. We have 1,000 military bases around the world. We don't know how many because there's a lot of them are secret. So it's probably even more than that. Some people say 800. Some people say 1,200. Some people say 1,000. You know how many bases Russia has around the world? 8. You know how many we have? 1,000. And they want more. This is, like Ron said, this is one big economy built on death, built on war. That's why he no matter what happens, you have to keep the troops there. No matter if Bashar al-Assad is toppled, no matter what happens, we have to keep troops there. Where? Throughout the world. Throughout the world. He says it right there. So watch all the fake progressives report this horribly and attack Trump from the right. This is exactly what Trump should be doing. Trump should be pulling us out of everywhere in the Middle East. But what you're supposed to do then is you're supposed to cut the military budget in half and reinvest that money in America. Like, what if we cut the military budget in half? What if we just went back to the Iraq war numbers of $500 billion? We could take $200 billion, end poverty in America. Or we could end homelessness in America and still have $180 billion left over to send everybody to college for free. We could just do it like that. So that's the key there. That's what we got to do. Now, I don't predict that Trump will cut the military budget at all, ever. So that's the problem. Like he'll do this part, but he won't do the other part. And he'll probably even start another war somewhere else. Well, he just bombed Somalia earlier this week. So, but watch, again, this is why we're here, because this is a good thing, not a bad thing. And I wish he would say the same thing about Afghanistan and Iraq and Libya and Somalia and the Sudan and whoever the hell else we are. I wish we would pull the hell out of there. Our next live Jimmy Dore show is February 1st in Burbank, California. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a list of all our live shows, and please become a premium member if you can. Become a patron. It's the way we support this show because they're coming at us, and we give you bonus. We give you hours of bonus material every week. Check it out. Become a patron. And if you can, make sure you're still subscribed. They unsubscribe people every day. I know it sounds crazy. It only takes a second. Please make sure and click that bell when you subscribe so they'll send you a notice when we drop a video. Thanks for your support.